Markets are moving, especially crypto is volatile. Why is that? You see macro changing. Central banks coming out and highlighting it's time to pause. This is a tweet from Bank of Canada. Now, why do we think that is? Because in their projection, they think in this year, inflation is going to drop to 3%. By next year, it's going to drop to 2%, their target. So right now, they're like, okay, we are doing another hike, but we are pausing it here. That definitely means the market is going to be volatile. So if you are caught on the other side of this is how it actually looks like. 30 million liquidated just in an hour in one asset. Now, we all understand that the market is moving, things are changing, and you need to pay attention to what's happening on the fundamental side with different assets, right? Then on the macro, when you see one of the biggest central banks in G7 coming out to do this, and then the dollar dropping all the way down, now we are like, okay, fine, I get the idea here. We are watching Bitcoin trying to break through this level. Last time it did this, it kind of ran up 10%. Now we are waiting here to see if we get a follow-up. Usually, when we do a week like this, we try to go back up to test that particular level. Now, on a daily chart, that does look like an engulfing candle because right now you see all these days, which is like last 4 days of corrective action, has been covered with this candle. This is a daily candle, right? This is a bit true. So while we are looking at all this, understand Xrp as an asset is showing you it's bullish on weekly. On a weekly chart, Xrp is bullish. On a 3-day chart, Xrp is bullish. On a daily chart, Xrp is becoming bullish. It had a day where there was some concern, it was going up and down. People had bad dreams. But right now, things are changing. You go look at the same in Bitcoin. You go on a weekly, it's bullish. The macro thing, it's a big candle, it's bullish. You go on a 3-day, it's bullish. You go on a daily, it's bullish. You go on a 4-hour, it's bullish. You go on a 2-hour, it's bullish. So the attitude in the market is shifting. Each time you drop, now it's becoming buy the dip. Understand that there is a difference between when the bullish momentum is activated and when you are correcting to the downside. To the downside, each pump is being sold. Whereas when you are changing that momentum to the upside, each drop is being bought. So if you are here in the market, understand the market is showing a ton of opportunity. See, this is one of the charts which we had previously. Why is that important? Because right now, when you're looking at the market in just 24 hours, there has been a lot of shift. You see the market running higher with a lot of different coins trying to do higher highs, trying to hit different levels of targets. So if you already knew that this is the target here, 0.15, that's resistance 1 and 2. Both of your target was hit. You actually reached that range. Now, if you're looking at another asset, it actually moved what we showed like, and now it's going towards the top end resistance. So when you're here in the market and you're looking at all this and asking that question like, okay, that does look interesting. There's another asset doing wonders today. And you're like, okay, we had this chart. We had the call that it's going to move up, and it's already breaking through and moving higher. So once you are here in the market and you know what these assets are actually about to do, where it's breaking higher and all, it kind of gives you the proper understanding. Now, going back towards the Xrp side of this and removing this kind of chart, now you look for reality. Now, you got the idea that that chart is giving you something clear. Now, you want to make sure that you understand that correctly. So here we are looking at Xrp in different time horizon. This is a daily chart in which you are looking for like last 1 year. Whereas here, this is an hourly chart where you're just looking for this month, right? And it is kind of surprising that it shows you similar pattern. So if the short-term pattern is showing you what it's doing in the macro pattern, imagine that's going to be great because this pattern is showing you you're going to test this range, you're going up. Great, which means Xrp can actually pump higher, reach these levels soon. So patterns and the price structure does give us some ideas of what we are doing. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family. where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Yesterday, we talked about the crypto sell off, the possibility of a move down before we move up. And as we discussed, we saw that the prices were moving lower. If you actually follow these assets on a short term horizon, you actually see like, okay, we had the pattern, we broke that to the downside, we hit the level of support. Now we are bouncing from there. So which is kind of showing you like, okay, bulls are still active in the market, but right now you cannot be 100% bullish because you still have this resistance. Even if Ether is going towards 1,700, it still will get resisted. That's the short term trend. But what's more important for us here is the long term trend and how it evolved. That's where it really looks bullish. Now, you did not actually get a clear retest here, which is not that great. But on a weekly chart, when you're looking at Ether, you're sure about the bottom, right? You actually put in this bottom, you made this consolidation, you broke that to the upside, which means this range should be broken to the upside, most likely above $2,000. So the macro is suggesting you that Bitcoin, crypto, the asset class as a whole is about to move. So you go on a short-term chart, you're looking at cryptocurrency as a whole. Here, this is Bitcoin. Now, when you're looking at Bitcoin, keep in mind, it is volatile right now. But if what history shows us, the recent history, the recent past, if that's showing us the way forward, that means most likely we are going to get a pump to the upside towards $25,000, which is not actually a bad deal at all, because right now here we are talking about this. Whereas yesterday there were people highlighting, okay, we are going back to 21, we're going back to 17, we're going back to 15. So yes, when the market drops, there's a lot of panic which actually enters back into the market without looking at the general macro structure of this market. That is so important for you and me, whoever is looking at this asset class right now, to understand that this market is showing you something which it hasn't done for a long period of time. So if that's happening here in the market after a long time, then something changed. So you were going down till this point, and now you're breaking through the moving average, putting in a new high, which is a higher high, a local high, we don't know, but right now it's already forming a higher high. So the structure is changing and the direction has changed. Now, for that of XRP, yes, we had this local high, which was a previous lower high, but right now we broke that and we are consistently moving higher. Yes, RSI is slowing down a bit, but we have two possibilities here. Either we can break this to the upside and say that's a bull flag, or we can correct back down for a retest. So we have two bullish scenarios here. It is funny that even if you're breaking to the downside and coming to test this 52 range, it's still bullish, right? Because it's on a daily chart. Now, when you go on a weekly chart, here it is even bullish. Now, anyone looking at this chart understand that we discussed about this possibility when we were here, when we broke higher, when we retested, when we bounced. So we have been consistently talking about this evolving. Right now, as we are breaking through this level, we see that the moving average is being broken to the upside and the price is trying to put that effort into it, showing we're going to close above the moving average, the 21 moving average. So the 21-day moving average on a weekly is an important level to show you something is changing, because this is happening at a time when the price is trying to put in a new high above the previous shoulder, which would have been a head and shoulder pattern, the bearish pattern. Now you are invalidating that. So for XRP, that's the case right now. For Ether, as we just discussed, on a short-term horizon, you can actually go here. You can look at that and say like, okay, on a Heikin chart, I do see that the momentum is building to the upside. If I put in a 21-day moving average, I can say, okay, we are retesting. So if we break this to the upside, imagine we go above this. Imagine we settle above 1,650. That now shows you like, okay, the bullishness is coming back into the market, right? Here on a daily, and hourly, you still get that bullish narrative. So if you are on a daily and you're trying to trade this asset, you'll say, okay, this is green, the last candle is green, which means if the hourly candle is above the 21-day moving average and green, I'm going for a trade. If the RSI is pointing me to the upside, if the MACD is directing me to the upside, both of them remain true here, which means market may actually do some surprise move, go above, liquidate some more position. This can happen. So as we just discussed here for the Bitcoin moves, remember, if Bitcoin actually does this move and eventually come back up and break this, that's good. But if Bitcoin does not do that and it's coming back down to this level, you're still inside that, it's good, it's positive, but you're going to see altcoins, some of them diving back down. With Bitcoin doing this small rally, you're now watching a lot of these coins going back up in green. So right now, yes, there are assets which are showing you like, the crypto is becoming bullish if you are just looking at that asset to make a decision, right? On a weekly, this is Filecoin. Then on a daily, when you're looking at Filecoin, something just show you like, okay, that candle which just closed shows me that this asset is turning bullish. Why? You had this structure here which confirmed a continuation pattern just before you got another continuation pattern here. So the market is showing you it's evolving on a bullish state. Right now, the market show you that we just got a bullish engulfing candle. So if that's an altcoin showing you that I'm getting more strength and I'm going to be bullish for the next couple of weeks, most likely that's going to be in most of the altcoins, which is highly correlated with this asset. Because you actually saw that the market broke below, it retested, got rejected, it capitulated. But right now, we broke back to the upside, we reached here, we tested that once, we broke higher. Now we came back, retested that, and we are bouncing. So if you are a technical guy or you respect technical levels, you're like, okay, that's a clear support zone. It was held a couple of times previously. Then afterwards, that became a resistance. So it's clear from the market that it was a support, which then turned into a resistance. And right now, it's again acting as a support here. So which kind of gives you a simple narrative. You have a likely chance this asset is going to bounce to the upside. Now, what about the highly correlated assets? Most of them are going to follow, and we are noticing that most of them are following that asset right now. So if you are there in the market and you are looking at these charts and understanding like, okay, this asset is highly correlated with this, the pattern is the same, the breaking time is same, it's most likely going to repeat the same. Understand this asset has a measured move of 140% or higher, which is not a bad deal because your majority supply demand zone or your support resistance zone is here. You have a long way to the upside, and we may actually see Bitcoin going towards $30,000 to test that level, and all of these coins running. So they do a 200% move when Bitcoin is doing much less than that. So here in the market, when we are observing XRP in the same context, we can actually put in that number here somewhere close to 0.6, saying, okay, by that time, we are actually going to see 50% move higher. That's not a small number. That's a big number in XRP because we have a massive fraud case from SEC. I mean, the frauds are SEC here, not the asset XRP itself, right? We know the problem it solves. We know the fundamentals. So if you are here in the market right now and having some questions, doubts, do let me know. We'll actually go through the market because time is evolving. You are literally observing that the market is moving in a way that you really don't want to miss these. Because once you do, now maybe another year to 3, you may have to wait for this market to come back into this range. Because when you're going to look at the macro, you're looking at things like this, where the dollar is dropping heavily. You are now getting that trend. Understand one thing. On a macro, what happened before is we got a rejection from the top. So that means you're looking for this asset to travel to the bottom. Where is that bottom? You're already halfway through. If you go back to our videos, back in this top, late September, early October, we discussed about this clearly. By the end of October, we were clear that when we move down and reach halfway and consolidate, that's where the altcoins start to run heavy. We see that every time. We have seen that historically each and every time when the dollar has done that. So I'm not saying I'm smarter than the history. I'm not saying this time is different. I'm staying with the history and saying, okay, I'm a student of the market, and I believe if that has happened 3 out of last 4 times, odds are that it can happen again. So I'm betting on that. Maybe I'm wrong. There is always a possibility that the market can go wild. But right now, if you are in the market and you are using all different indicators and all of them are suggesting you one result, now you should not go against it. Say here on a 3-day it's bullish, on a daily it's bullish, on a 4-hour it's bullish. So what are you looking for next couple of days? Again, your trend line is to the upside. The hourly is again coming back to green, which means I'm personally looking for this asset to go higher. Now, it's not only this asset, right? We are discussing through all these different assets, which is literally breaking higher, retesting, bouncing. So you have a set of assets in the market which is showing you huge opportunity if you are in the right place with the right information for your targets, for your exits. Where you are entering, where you're exiting is really important because that decides whether you make a profit or not. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.